some illegal
and it's
plants from my florist.
very, very good. Very, very good stuff from your florist, mate. It's very
Oh, yeah.
important. You've got to
Yes,
get
it's
that
very,
shit done. It's
it's
very
very
good.
important.
Yeah,
I need my tulip. I need my
yeah.
tulips. Gotta get
And
those poppy
couple
seeds in me.
chrysanthemums.
This is the Kildom Comedy Podcast, featuring true crime, amazing events, conspiracies, unsolved mysteries, and an array of weird and wonderful topics, all for your enjoyment. You're welcome.
And that proves that even people that you would trust with your life can, at some point, go fucking crazy.
Oh,
happens at
yeah,
the
that's
end
a
of the
great
first one.
idea. Yeah. Duplo's fucking fantastic as well. Why don't people play with Duplo more, man? It's just big Lego. I want big Lego.
Fantastic.
Why do the infants only get the big Lego? I know it's because they choke on the small Lego, but like I could choke on it too, and I want to play with it.
Yeah, your throat's even bigger, so you could choke on it even easier, to be fair, sure.
Yeah. I could probably fit Duplo
You
in my
swallow
mouth
more?
and choke on it if I really fucking tried, but I'm not
Yeah.
gonna because I'm a fucking adult and I can respect the danger that is choking on plastic. Give me my Duplo.
You know, that's what happens if you choke on enough dildos. You know, you defrost them, you drop them down there, you're like, oh no, stuck down there. And then, you know, the batteries come out at the top and then you get a little shock as well on your
Is
tongue.
that how it goes, guys?
It's not fun, man.
No, I'm stuck down there.
It's not a good time. It's not a good time.
Not a good time, no. Oh,
to that-
God, looking like a pelican that's gone all wrong.
Pelican defroating. Wow. So, would you like to know about my main topic, Nathan? Considering
Let's do it. Yeah, it's an hour and 11 minutes in.
And it definitely fits like perfectly well into. It doesn't fit perfectly well into what we were just talking about in the slightest, but I'm just going to pretend it does.
Yeah.
Main topic.
I am starting to consider, by the way, taking the bits that I just do by myself out of these and animating them because I kind of want to see how that would look now. Sorry, continue. Completely off
idea.
Yeah.
We'll put it on, or I can just send you the bit over. It's probably easier to put the video.
Yeah.
So this is. I was unsure what to do. And then this popped up and I thought about it. I was like, oh, yeah, this person died recently. And then I saw that there was a documentary on Netflix about this, a new documentary. I heard the story before and I watched a drama about it as well on ITV, I think it was. Because they do loads on ITV. And this one had, who was it? David Tennant as the bad guy. The bad guy.
Oh, cool.
Murder Man.
He plays a really fucking good bad guy as well. If you've never seen Jessica Jones, he plays the purple man in that. He is fucking amazingly scary.
What's he called in that again? I remember liking his name.
I can't remember. Name. It was
It wasn't Killian, was it?
No, it was. I've got to Google it now. Kilgrave.
Yeah.
Yeah. God damn it.
Yeah, so this is he looks like an older, weirder guy in this. The guy's called Dennis Nielson, and this main bit here, I've got a few little bits basically noted down as it was going through the documentary. And the documentary was all like him talking in his words, and a few little like explaining bits on top, but mainly him from his own words. He had like 250 hours of recorded interviews on there, just him talking through stuff. And he also I find this really strange. They made a point that he was writing his autobiography and he was going to what's it called when they do it, you know? He was writing his autobiography and he was going to publish it from behind bars, as if there was any other way he could publish it other than from behind bars because he was in prison. I just find that wording really strange.
Yeah, well, you know, that's writers for you, innit?
Yeah. This dude here, though, is called Steve Mccusker. He was talking a bit at the beginning. He was a deputy investigator from London, 1983. And he received a call to Cranley Gardens in North London. It seemed as though the toilets and pipes were blocked and an engineer was called to check it out. And while he was looking and checking out the pipes, he found the remnants of a body or two. We're not completely sure. There was just bits and bobs in there, you know, or mushed
Oh,
in.
great. Yeah, that's always the way you want it. Mushed
Yeah.
in.
Just all mushed in there. They said it was either
That
flushed
doesn't
down the
imply that
toilet.
it's fresh, Carl.
No, it was flushed down the toilet and everything. Like, oh wow, But there was also, they think that there might have been some put down the manhole because the day before, the guy from upstairs, Dennis Nielson, was seen outside, like walking and just around the manhole cover, in a vest, despite
Yeah,
the fact
just
that
walk. I'm just going to casually walk around this manhole cover. Nothing dodgy about that. Splosh.
Yeah, didn't make
Just
any
put
kind of
another
detail of
hand
what
down
he
this.
was doing. You think it'd be quite easy to look at him and see if he had the manhole cover open, putting stuff in it rather than just walking around it, but
Yeah.
pooping on it,
Who
I
the
don't
fuck
know.
just casually walks around a manhole cover? The fucking weirdo.
In his vest in February as well. When
Oh,
it's
it's
cold
Dennis
like
again. What's he doing? He's
London,
walking round the manhole cover like he does every fucking night. What a weirdo. Fucking.
he don't half look like that Doctor Who fella, don't he? So the bodies were confirmed to be human and there was evidence of murder. Of course, they eventually were able to meet Dennis Nielson, the guy that they mentioned from the flat, after he finished work at the job centre. So they're waiting around. They managed to meet him after it had already been confirmed that they were human body remains by then.
Yeah.
They went to his door and they said as soon as the door opened, when he opened it, they could smell decomposing bodies, and straight away the investigator, Steve Mccusker, just said to him, "Stop messing about, where are the rest of the bodies?"
Yeah.
At
I
which
mean, come
point-
on. Like, everyone knows what a rotting fucking corpse smells like. And apparently humans
Oh.
smell even worse than the rest.
Yeah, I don't know if I could say that I necessarily know what a rotten corpse would smell like, but I could take a guess.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, if
not
you
gonna
can
be
smell
good
something
anyway.
rotting, yeah. And like, apparently the thing is, like, the reason why human flesh stinks so particularly bad when it rots to humans is obviously because it's very infectious to you. So your body is basically going, don't go fucking near that. That's death. Whatever happened to them will happen to you. Stay away from it.
Oh, okay.
You know.
So yeah. So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we recognize it as like as our own mortality. So our body is saying, keep the fuck away,
Yeah.
just in case.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And then, of course, you get, oh, god damn it. What was I going to say then? No, it's gone. It's gone, Carl.
Scurvy. You get scurvy.
You get fucking scurvy. Get fucking scurvy, people. Get scurvy.
That seemed like the natural progression.
Eat
to
your
where you were
fucking
going.
vitamin C, you fucking scurvy bastards.
Eat your vitamins, say your prayers. Forget about Hulk Hogan coming back to wrestling. CM Punk is here. Whoop 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 woo. CM Punk's back in wrestling just to make this.
Is he?
Point. Yeah, he's actually back. Yeah, he popped up in AEW and he's here again now.
Well, I mean, he was
Finally,
never
after
really going to go
7
back
years.
to WWE, was he?
No,
let's be honest.
He even talked about that in his promo when he came back. Like, the reaction was fucking unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was in Chicago as well. They purposely didn't keep it a good secret, but never confirmed it once. So it was still kind of good.
But that's the best way to play it. Is
It was
always
good.
sort of it's the thing of don't confirm or deny, because then either way you're sort of either pissing people off by lying about it or creating false, whatever. But yeah, it's fucking sweet. It's good. It's good to know the guy's back because he wasn't doing well in actual fighting at all.
No. And he apologized for leaving wrestling and actually leaving the WWE for the people that thought he abandoned them, as he said, or something to those points. But then he said after that, he was I was in a place that I wasn't happy in and I wasn't well in because of that place making me unwell. So there's no way I could stay there. I had to leave.
Yeah.
And he said after he left Ring of Honor, the place before, he considers that when he left professional wrestling and then was just in sports entertainment for a bit, I guess is what he was getting at. He's already planning his first match and all that. He's it was good. You could tell he was happy as well. He was bum happy being there,
Well, I mean, as I say, it's just it's sort of his He's clearly talented at it, because otherwise he wouldn't have made it into the WWE and all that
Yeah,
kind of
he's
stuff, and
great.
he wouldn't have had the support that he's got.
Mhm. You can tell,
And
man.
yeah, he doesn't have the aggression in him to do actual fighting. I don't think
Yeah,
he has
yeah.
it in him to
Doesn't look
cause
like it.
actual harm to other people. Whilst a lot of the fighters out there, they will cause a lot of physical harm to you and enjoy it.
Yeah, I suppose that's true as well. Wrestlers are like, you just drilled into you that you got to take care of your opponent.
Yeah.
Most of them don't.
Which-
Don't get me wrong. Some of them you watch and you're like, you literally don't care if you kill them. I watched some wrestling over the weekend. It's like you just don't care if they die. You just don't care.
Yeah.
They're next.
Some savage
no problem
bastards
to
out
you.
there. Yeah, fucking. I still fucking remember that
Copy.
goddamn. What's his face? The one where he lands on his head. Oh, Jesus Christ!
You have to be a bit more specific. There's a lot of
Brock
head landing.
Lesnar. Brock Lesnar.
Oh, that one, yeah.
That
Yeah.
dude weighs a fucking ton. There's no reason that man should ever land on his fucking head.
There's a much
Oh
worse
my
ones than
God.
that.
And he still went for the fucking pin. What a
Carried on afterwards.
professional!
Went for the
Yeah.
did the F5 afterwards, despite the fact he concussed himself. And Kurt Angle had a broken neck in it as well at the time.
God.
But that's the thing that Brock Lesnar came back as well at the end of SummerSlam the other day with like a top knot and all this big beard and whatnot. He was bum happy when he came. He was really happy when he came out. Though. He looked like the dude was like, as excited as some. The dude had an erection. He just had a
didn't
legit
actually have an
erection.
erection.
He had a legit erection, just as much as Dennis Nielson had when he was cutting up these bodies.
Oh, fucking alcohol.
And we're back.
And we're back in the room. Okay.
Literally, because when asked in that room, when they got to the house...
I've got to change my leg position. I'm wearing shorts.
It's really strange.
Bit of leg.
So was Brock Lesnar, hence why I know about said erection. It was a really strange
you can't really hide him in
no,
Under Armour underoos.
Yeah, naturally there was no erection, and I don't know why that was the segue, but that's the way we went, that's the way we got there, and it's a success, undoubtedly, at this point. So
I'm sure you'll be hearing from his lawyers regardless. Brock Lesnar is going to fuck you up in the courts.
Brock Lesnar doesn't have lawyers, he just buys pieces of wood, shoves it into a shotgun, and shoots it at people.
What?
What
is that an actual thing he's done? Because like I can kind of see someone doing.
Buys pieces of wood, shoves them into a shotgun. It's definitely what he's done.
And just blunderbusses them at people. He just fucking puts in a fucking empty cartridge in both of the barrels, sticks a broom handle down both, and just fires it.
And if that doesn't work, he beats you to death with a moose. Like a full-grown moose, he just starts beating you to death. Like he holds it.
Not the head of a moose on the side of it. He just picks up the whole moose by its ankles and just starts wailing on you with it.
No, he picks it up from the horns. Like he doesn't want to give you an easy ride and just beat you to death with the horns because that would be too easy. You know, he wants to beat you up with the softest part of the animal. Most of the damage is going to be done with the anus. I'm not going to lie to you.
Oh, that's horrible. Crushed by moose ass again and again until death.
You're not dead until you go up.
Fuck.
Suffocation is the end goal.
Well, it is, especially if you're Dennis.
Yep. As someone goes to mention or call him later on, what is it? His actual Christian name is, where the fuck is it? Oh, I'll get to it later, because I can't find it right this second.
That's all right.
Oh, because some really weird, killer names. They're always dubbed, with these names. But so that's where the other bodies were in the house, and he pointed over to the cupboard, and there were big bags of human remains inside these big bags that were in there. And he was arrested. And then in the car, he was asked. The investigators turned around to him and said, "So what are we looking at here? We're looking at 1 body, 2 bodies, 3 bodies, maybe." And without skipping a beat, he turned around instantly replied, "About 15 or 16."
Holy shit!
Whole lot of kills in here. The body count
all
on here
down one fucking drain. God damn.
That not necessarily here. No, that's
okay. Because how stupid do the neighbours have to be?
Well, it's his house too, apparently. But this is the thing: he seemed to dispose of all the bodies without ever actually leaving like the place he was living at.
Well, yeah, because he was chopping them up tiny and flushing them down the fucking bog.
Yeah, at times, yeah, apparently, yeah.
Ugh.
Which is just the guy seemed like a smart dude from everything that they talk about, but once again, the smart guy who just got caught by doing something really dumb.
Yeah, well,
He
the
didn't
thing
seem to
is,
want to.
a lot of psychopaths and sociopaths in particular, they do appear to be very smart at first glance, because it's sort of a superficial kind of intelligence. It's a superiority more than actual intelligence. So they're more likely to lie to you and convince you that they know something that they actually have no fucking clue about.
It makes sense, actually, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's another reason why as well, like psychopaths and sociopaths can be really, really like ingratiating and like charming when you first meet them, because it's very superficial and they know how to push your buttons to make you do and say what they want you to make and do, because they're manipulating you.
Yeah.
And it's only after you've had that happen to you a few times from a few psychopaths that you start to see what the fuck is actually happening.
I think I've encountered. Well, I know I've encountered people that think they were, but I think I've encountered legitimate psychopath. Well, I don't know as much.
Oh, you
like
will guarantee to have done. You'll guarantee to have
knowingly. Yeah.
2% of the population, at least.
Is that how much? I didn't know that it was like supposed to be that high, because that's quite high when you think about it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But that's the thing as well. People always make the misconception as well that all serial killers are psychopaths, and at the same time,
all
that all
psychopaths are serial killers.
when it's not like that at all.
Completely ridiculous. A lot of serial killers are mentally deranged in some way as well. Like there's a religious component. There's
arguably the killing is the mentally deranged part anyway.
Well, yeah, exactly. But I mean, with psychopaths and sociopaths, it's more about the process itself of murder. Whilst for someone who's deranged, being a serial killer is like, no, I have to cleanse the earth of this kind of person, because they're like the dude who killed a load of hookers in America recently in a shooting, I think it was. And the reason why was because he felt tempted. Well. I mean, yeah. But this one in particular, it was about he was aiming particularly for Asian American hookers, because he was tempted and fucked Asian American hookers, and he was like, oh yeah, no, but their temptation is evil and God doesn't want me to be tempted, so I'm going to kill them.
God, that would like us going around burning down all the marijuana fields.
It's insanity. And again, like, this is just a whole thing about religion being that. Anyway, right, where were we?
I'm writing like a whole episode about like for the smoking area, about like different beliefs that certain ones of the groups have. One's going to believe in like flat earth, one's going to be like more religious and all that, like, and it's just going to be. I don't know if I'll bring the religion to at that point, because I might just have an episode based around religion later on in general.
Yeah.
But definitely at least conspiracies and all that,
Yeah. I reckon that's a good idea. Everyone's got their own weird thing they believe in reality, so why not give them a weird thing to believe in the sitcom?
I've done about a third of the final draft, which is like, just after going into it many times and like rewriting different little bits. I'm going through from the beginning to the end, reading through it all, like trying to just make sure everything fits properly.
Oh yeah, you got to do that. Yeah. It's like, as what's his face? Neil Gaiman said in one of his masterclass adverts that I saw on YouTube. He goes, the process of editing is making it look like you knew what you were doing all along.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense now after doing it,
Yeah. Because it's like, oh, that bit over there can connect to that, and that can connect to that, and I can and then it just makes everything better. It's so much fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely get that. what I could do after like this as well, if you think it might be a good idea, is like maybe send you over the script that I got at the moment, and you can see if it makes sense from like
Hell
your
yeah.
side. 'Cause
Hell
it might
yeah,
help,
dude.
like if you like make a few little notes or edit bits or something, having that other set of eyes, might help.
Yeah, bro. I'm more than willing.
Cool. Okay, you'll be able to tell how much I've done because all the bits that I've fully like final drafted. Obviously, you can change them bits too. Just do whatever you think. If what, yeah, you know what I mean.
Well, yeah, we'll see how it goes.
It's all the bolded bits anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, I keep getting distracted about Mr. Nielson here.
Yeah.
Fucking Mr.
Because we haven't talked in ages.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's the doctor as well, so he's using a perception filter on me, so it's making me forget he's there,
yeah,
Yeah, I'm a geek.
that's fine.
Were you ever a fan of Doctor Who, really?
I think I sort of stopped watching just after David Tennant, actually. And the whole Matt Smith thing didn't really grab me. I didn't know what it was about Matt Smith as a doctor, but he just wasn't quite for me, which is annoying because the writing seemed to get better for his series.
Arguably,
but from what I've heard, the writing in the most recent series is not necessarily the greatest.
Yeah, the most recent series has not been very good. The one before it, Peter Capaldi, was okay. More so, there was just like quite a few saving graces in it. There was like the Master was this person called Missy, with like a female version, and she was just a great character.
Yeah.
Peter Capaldi was okay. He was okay, and a few other little things. But then as soon as he got to Jodie Whittaker, it was just, other than Bradley Walsh, everything was just kind of boring and bland. Everything, even Bradley Walsh, got a bit boring. He's not even in it anymore. I think it's John Bishop in the next one, but it still looks kind of boring, to be honest. We'll see though.
John Bishop as
a companion.
Oh, good.
Yeah. But I know she's leaving.
Isn't the woman who's she's leaving as the Doctor, isn't she? So we've got no idea who's going to be the Doctor again now, and whether they're going to go female or male or.
The next season she'll be the Doctor, but then it'll be the one after that. So
yeah, exactly.
Given about how long it takes for a season to come out, normally you're looking at a new Doctor taking over in about 4 or 5 years. It's fucking ridiculous, man. How long those seasons take for like 8 episodes or something short,
Yeah, and they keep splitting them out and making them last longer. And go fuck yourself. Just play the goddamn thing. I want to watch it, and I want to watch it when I want to watch it.
I'm happy just going back and watching Fringe again, which I'm almost at the end of now.
Yeah, I still haven't watched any of that.
I would highly recommend it. Anyone listening that likes like all your sciencey, crazy sci-fi, X-Files kind of stuff, all that kind of stuff. Not necessarily without the aliens, but kind of with some aliens that aren't aliens, but a weird kind of Men in Black that aren't Men in Black, but a weird time entities, I guess, rather than just aliens. They're called observers, but they exist in all of time and space at the same time while existing.
So a bit like the Watchers from Marvel. They're just sort of watching as time goes, and they know all of the flow of time, and they're just sort of.
They're not supposed to get involved.
Yeah.
But cooler,
Yeah, because
it's not Marvel. I like Marvel. One way or another, I like Marvel. Oh yeah, the other thing I meant to ask you actually, the new Spider-Man freaking trailer looks so good.
My God, bro! Like genuinely, Alfred Molina back looking fucking champion. Like they've digitally de-aged him to make it all work. Like oh my God, mate! Oh my God, mate!
Yeah, I was so into that when I saw that. Like, because he was, to be fair, like probably my favorite
villain.
Definitely from the Sam Raimi ones and all that.
Yeah,
he was practically Alfred then.
But also the fucking bomb fell down, and they basically confirmed that what's his face is going to be back as the Green Goblin as well.
Oh yeah,
Willem Dafoe.
Yeah,
bro.
I was listening to that, and it did sound like his voice. There's no guarantee that he's going to be in it like that. It could be like a red herring or a tiny little scene you see, or
I mean, it could be, but they've already there's rumors going around as well that they're bringing the lizard from Amazing Spider-Man in.
Oh, I did hear something
And
about that as well, actually.
yeah. So they've
Uh,
basically got
and
most of the
Electro. I know
Sinister
Electro's
Six
coming.
there and ready to go. Like, yeah, dude.
Who other ones would have been? Like, if they could easily bring Vulture back, because he was in the Sinister Six a lot of the time, I think.
Vulture was by far one of the coolest versions of that character that could have possibly been done. Michael Keaton's character is so fucking good in that film. Like, yeah, that moment when you've had this entire build-up of the plot all the way to the point where Peter walks up to the door, knocks on it, and ka-chunk. Oh, fuck. Oh, man, what storytelling that was. That was fucking genius.
Mysterio in the second one. I like how the carry on from this goes, and the fact that like Doctor Strange is just like, yeah, we'll help you. You know, we'll do this. Why not? And I'm guessing
I promise not to use the spell.
That's really messed up trying to wink then, but you know. It looks really cool. And I'm guessing Wong is going off to fight Abomination in Shang-Chi for some reason.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I forgot about Shang-Chi. I need to see that. I need to see Black Widow as well.
That hasn't come out. Yeah, I haven't seen Black Widow either.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi comes out, I think, at the 9th of September or something around that kind of time. Somewhere around
I've seen reviews of it that say it's good. So
yeah, it looks like it'll be alright. It feels like it's gonna be more of a standalone thing again. Like it's not gonna be integral to the story, you know, like Spider-Man is, for example. Spider-Man's gonna be very much in there. Like you can completely see already how with Loki, you know, the end of that, how it's gonna kind of fit in with all that.
Yeah, like as soon as Loki's happened, like I can see almost that
synced, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like the two things happened at the same time, and that's why the spell goes wrong. Like we can't be sure. And that combined with just all of the possibilities,
the multiple universes, like which have
have
already
you seen
been
Marvel's What If?
Melina. No,
yeah,
no,
have you seen Oh, mate. There's two of them so far, and they're both brilliant, in my opinion. The first one is what if Captain Carter became the first Avenger?
Okay. Captain Carter.
So you know Agent Carter?
Yeah.
Yeah. Her, but just hench as fuck and just smashing the shit out of Germans. She, at one point in the thing, runs at a German truck, slams into it with the shield, and just fucking pitches it over herself. It is the coolest shit you've ever seen. And then it gets even better, but I'm not going to spoil it for you, Carl, because you need to watch that shit. And more importantly, it made me go, I would totally watch a film in the multiverse where Captain Carter comes in and works alongside the new fucking Captain America, because I am so fucking down for that. You have no idea. And plus, the woman who plays Agent Carter, I can't remember her name, is probably one of the most beautiful women working in cinema today. End of story.
And there's a Nathan Parish seal of approval there.
That's goddamn right. That's a 10 out of 10.
That end bit made me forget completely what I was going to say. Yeah, what was the second one? Something to do with Thanos, wasn't it? I remember seeing that.
Yeah, so the second one is what if King T'Challa, or is he king at that point? Basically, if Black Panther was taken over. Was taken over by...
I did always find that like ironic. It's like, you know, they have this film which is like all about like, you know, which is cool. It's like a cast full of like black people, or whatever preferred term is the one to use nowadays. I don't care about the PC.
Black's fine. You can.
I think so. Black. Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah, definitely you can actually, because as I was about to say, like, it's a film which is known for that, you know, like for having like this big cast of black people, but yeah, it has to be called Black Panther. Like,
yeah.
Could you not call it anything else?
I think Black Panther was actually kind of a reaction to the Black Panthers.
That would make sense.
You know, and it was being created as this powerful black character in a time where that wasn't something you ever saw really in comic books.
Was there not already some other? I can remember thinking this before, but there was already like some black superheroes
Oh,
in there,
there
wasn't there?
probably were, but like the thing about Black Panther in particular is it makes Africa itself this powerhouse of the story, this iconic area in the story. You know, Wakanda is such a sort of, it's a hidden part of Africa, but at the same time, it sort of tries to help all the rest of it. It's really, yeah, like it's great as a concept. Although I didn't actually enjoy the Black Panther film as much as people did. I felt it was a little bit sort of formulaic. Actually, I sort of knew what plot points were going to happen before they happened. It was.
I mean, you can say that about a lot of Marvel films. To be fair, anyway,
you can, but I mean, you say that, but then again,
I agree with what you're saying. Though I think Black Panther was made out to be better than it was, just because of what it meant, which I get as well. But
and it's not a bad film. I definitely rewatched that film quite happily. But like, it's got nothing in comparison to the level of writing that you get in Civil War or in Winter Soldier. Because if you, as I said, the last time I watched through the Marvel films, I was watching, you know, all of the initial ones like Captain America, First Avenger, all the way up until Avengers, and then and it's like they all feel a bit bubblegum. They all feel a little bit like, as I say, formulaic, and a bit like, oh well, this is basic storytelling stuff. The bad guy does this, this, and this, and this, and this. 3-act structure. And then you get to Captain America and the Winter Soldier, and suddenly it's a full-blown political thriller with actual like intrigue and
just different.
Like, yeah.
It's weird because,
and in a way that you weren't expecting as well.
Captain America, the first Avenger, was like, I did not like that film when it came out. I did not enjoy it. I wasn't a fan of it, and I wasn't even into history like I am now. So I didn't even enjoy that aspect of it. You know, the first, the war aspect. None of it. I was like, meh, America.
See, I loved it when it came out again, because like I saw it with my dad in the cinema, and we'd always sort of watched Saving Private Ryan and all these sorts of things, and then along comes Captain America First Avenger, and it's just like this giant action blockbuster, and it's comic books, and it's World War II. It's like all of the things that would be cool for us to watch together all combined into one thing. Brilliant. Yeah.
I think I just wasn't expecting a lot of the it to be like in the war the whole time. I was expecting it to be like in the future a bit quicker. I think I was expecting I didn't know a lot of the storyline from it, so I didn't know about all the propaganda stuff and all that. I was like, what the fuck is this? Kicking people's ass, man. What are you doing?
Yeah, the actual like
Hitler.
the amount of times he actually fought in World War II, I think there was quite a few, but like it didn't last long. He grew up pretty quickly and got frozen in ice, you know.
I watched the majority of Iron Man 3 again the other day, and that's one of my favourite Marvel films.
Underrated.
Iron Man 3.
Yeah. The only problem I have with Iron Man 3 though is I don't like the fact that people spit fire and shit like that. It just seems so dumb. It seems so fucking dumb.
First time he does it, he's like, "Oh, we're spitting fire now. What the?"
But to me that just felt like going, yeah, okay, we get it, it's stupid, but blah blah blah, we can just do this, fine. Whilst Extremis in some of the comics works in a far more cool way, and it still involves like filling that section of the brain that's empty. But in the comic books, instead of it being this ability to heat shit up or explode or set fire to stuff, it's basically like giving yourself the ability to process like a supercomputer. So you can react faster than the human eye. You can calculate, huge equations in a nanosecond. You have the ability to think like a machine, but also like a human being at the same time with incredible speed. So it sort of, leads sort of Tony down this thing of believing that he needs Extremis, and like he's almost addicted to it in the same way he was addicted to the alcohol and stuff. This whole interesting aspect of it. And also that guy could have done that. You know, he could have had that as his thing, and you could have a fight between an actual dude, a normal dude, standing alone, toe to toe with Iron Man. Because Iron Man would be trying to attack him, and he'd just go, "Okay, take that component out, knock round there, take that component out," and you just watch the Iron Man just fucking hit the floor. That would have been a
because he's
way
just
cooler fucking way
taking
to
him
do it.
apart as he's doing it because he's too smart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. See,
yeah.
that's the way I would have done Extremis. That's the way I would have done it.
And you could also like add it in as well, because I know there's like they didn't want to do the whole alcohol storyline like it was in the comics, hence why they did like more of the anxiety and panic attacks in it.
Yeah.
But you could have also had the bits in there too where he was like, wanted the power like that, like, because that kind of fits in with the other films. That kind of fits in with like Age of Ultron and kind of Avengers as well.
Yeah, because that could have been like, oh, we were working on this. Or did Ultron come before or after?
What, Iron Man 3?
Oh, yeah, Ultron came after Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
So that would make perfect sense. Like, oh, well, we worked on Extremis and developed it into something new, you know?
Yeah, you could have used that and turned that into Ultron, yeah?
Yeah. There's so many things that they could have done.
But we talk
that
about
would have tied it in great.
We talk about it though as if the whole, like, threads of the whole MCU doesn't work perfectly as it is anyway, though,
Oh, it does. It does. It's just that is my one flaw with that movie is I'd change that around.
From writing now though, and like just writing like an episode and planning a few episodes ahead for little like things that have been foreshadowed in the first one are going to be paid off later. Just from doing that, I look at now like the MCU and I'm like, how did you keep all that together and keep everything flowing right? And
because it was all done by Kevin Feige.
Yeah. The odd plot hole, the odd mistake and stuff. They didn't. It wasn't perfect. They had to retcon a few little things.
Yeah.
Like what was it? The Spider-Man, the date in Spider-Man, was it? There was something about in Spider-Man. I think they referenced one of the things as 2012, but it was too early or something. There was some mistake at the beginning of Spider-Man.
I think I remember what you mean. Yeah.
The Fight of New York, I think.
Yeah.
But we was talking about Dennis Nielson again, but we went on a big long thing.
That was it. We keep talking about other stuff.
Let's put that about 1:47 now. We'll go back into it. Okay, there's a lot of this stuff about Dennis anyway, because it's already been captured and it's just like all the little details that go with it. So they only had apparently 48 hours to question him, which I don't completely understand why they only had 48 hours to question him.
I think it's that's sort of the legal limit that you're allowed to hold someone in custody, basically.
Yeah, which seems strange considering they've already admitted in that though, but
Yeah, I mean, once you've got a confession, you can pretty much just throw them into the county jail and leave them there, as far as I can tell. Yeah.
Yeah, it's strange, but I don't know if she technically had a confession because, so originally they didn't want to put too much pressure on him to talk in that time because they didn't want him to close up because they had 48 hours to figure out where 15 or 16 people were. He wasn't even sure on the amount, apparently. But it turned out he was more than happy to talk. He answered all of their questions. But when asked the identities of the bodies, he said he didn't know who the victims were. All that he could actually tell them was that they were all young men. In an effort to make this, the story public was made in hope of gaining any info on the victims' identities, see if there was any missing people, but nothing was coming up. There was just no missing people in that, which I thought was strange. And he worked at a job centre as a work advisor, speaking to people out of work in vulnerable positions, for example.
Yeah.
Funny enough,
yeah, he sort of picked the right fucking thing for his particular disgusting choice.
That, funny enough, though, wasn't actually how he picked his people, which is what naturally, when you read that part, you'd imagine that's where he picked them, but no.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll get to that in a sec. The murders, though, were said to have happened over the space of 4 years. Only the remnants of about 3 bodies were found at Cranley Gardens, the first place, which was, from what they found in the in the flat, in the cupboard, and also in the drain pipes and the pipes in general, in the manhole and all that. 3 people roughly. So they were still looking for another 12 or 13 people that he claimed he'd killed.
Yeah.
And he told investigators he had killed the other people at 195 Melrose Avenue, which was just a few miles from Cranley Gardens, so the same kill area as well, which makes sense. They went to Melrose Avenue to look for signs of anybody's there, and he told them they were all buried in the garden. But technically they were buried in the garden because he had a little disposal system that he used to do when he was at Melrose Avenue. He started by putting them under the floorboards, but he said at one point there were so many bodies that there was not any more space. Like there was just no more space under there. They were just all way too full, and then the smell and rot was starting to come through and go through the floorboards. And
fucking ooh! Like how do people? Oh fucking hell! I'll just have a quick look at my crotch there, Carl. How do you like that? Is it good?
Right, that's an 18 marking on our video.
Yeah, no, I don't get how someone can live in those conditions. Even if you're a fucking psycho murderer, how do you survive every single day with the acrid smell of rotting human around you?
And how do you just think that's just the best way to do it going
Yeah.
forward? Because there's a lot of
Just
talk
hide
in
them
this
under the
about
floorboards.
there's a lot of talk in this about whether he's of sane mind and that, and spoiler alert, it seems like he's of sane mind. Like, he's not psychotic, he's aware of what he's doing,
Yeah,
which is
he's just a fucked up piece of human trash. Yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
But the other pieces of human trash in his mind, because they were in trash bags, let's bear in mind, may have been disposed of during a lot of bonfires that he would have in his garden regularly that the other neighbours told him about.
Come on. You can't smell human flesh burn. It smells like fucking bacon, apparently. You're not going to go up and go, oh, you're having a barbecue or something and see a fucking leg. These people are in on it, Carl. These people are in on it. There is a death cult out there, and they were all involved because that's the only reason that neighbours could be that goddamn dumb.
That's very possible, but at the same time, I mean, I am not going to comment on the levels of how dumb people are and whether there is a limit. We've got to be honest.
Okay, fair play. There's probably no limit.
I don't think there's a limit. I know there's not a limit. But no one ever complained about these bonfires, though, despite the obvious, as you said, smell of Peppa Pig constantly.
Yeah.
But he burned them all in the back garden.
Long
When they were burned to ash, he would spread the ashes all about and then dig them into the ground, shuffle them up a bit, so they weren't just protruding little bits of bone everywhere.
Excellent.
But apparently there were still, once they looked, they were just finding loads of little bits of bone everywhere. You'd pick something up to be a bone, pick something up, but a vertebrae, a toe bone, a piece of nipple. I don't know.
What was he doing with the bodies? Like, what was he actually? Was it just murder and chuck them in a bag?
There's a story about that in a second, actually. There was one here. I won't go into this exactly. What was this? Oh yeah. There was he also told them about something they missed at Cranley Gardens after they gave him some details about what they'd found there. He told them where to look, and in these little drawers in a box, they somehow, in this box was a whole arm and hand, and they were able to get the identities of one of the guys there, and it was someone called Stephen Sinclair, who had travelled from Scotland down to London, who was into his drugs and all that, and that's why no one had noticed him. He'd been cut off and that, so runaway kind of person.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's
makes sense.
It's clear, yeah, and that's the thing as well. Like, there's nothing, as you say, crazy about that. That's a very specific, deliberate. No one's going to remember this person. I don't need to know their name. I'm going to kill them now. Yeah, it's Yeah, it's a predator basically. That's what it is.
And to get a little bit more of an idea about Dennis Nielson, and this bit here next up is just giving an idea of where his roots, where he comes from. So he came to London from Aberdeenshire, which I assume is
Aberdeen.
Scotland.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Aberdeen is in Aberdeenshire, I think.
Oh,
I believe
okay.
so.
So reporters contacted his mom to talk to him around this time as well. Whatever happened, there was an interview done with her, which is what these little bits, these details are from. When they were going to the house, the garden that we were going through, the front garden had a little best garden plaque, and the house and garden was immaculate. She'd actually won this thing, like of having the best garden in the area. She was very pristine, all that kind of person, so OCD, I'm guessing,
God,
from the
why?
sounds of it.
There's going to be something horrible about to be revealed about her, isn't there, or something?
No, just in general, she herself didn't understand how nobody would have noticed for 4 years that he was doing this stuff. He was like kind of devolving a bit or something. She said that he was just a normal, quiet boy. He described himself as having a troubled childhood, but no one noticed it, that he was a troubled boy. He blames himself on, what was it? Not having a dad around, even though despite the fact many people don't have dads around and don't kill people.
Yeah.
He described his mom as emotional ice, but once again, a lot of people have that without murdering people.
Yeah.
But apparently she said, oh yeah, this is the other thing. She said she brought him up the same as his siblings, but he said it was a complete lie. Because at a young age he fell in love for the first time, but it was with a boy, and his mom was a devout Christian.
And there we go. That's what it is, ladies and gentlemen.
He learned at an early age how his mom and his religion felt about this, so he was forced to hide it. So you can see where a lot of it comes from straight away.
Always remember, repress the things you don't like about your children. It's so healthy.
Even though, once again, though, I can't assume that all people that have been repressed, in the closet will turn out to be
absolutely
killers.
Not. And again, this is the same thing that we were talking about before. Like, there's the 2% of people in the world are psychopaths. Psychologically, genetically, they are psychopaths. But to kill people, you need that extra push.
Yeah.
And this guy got enough of his extra push. He was quite clearly psychopathic or sociopathic, because otherwise he wouldn't do this kind of shit.
Yeah, there was something more to him.
Yeah, and
Nature
he had someone try and repress. They had someone try and repress a chunk of his psychology, and that's not healthy. And now, do I believe entirely that his life was idyllic? No. Do I believe that he was having such a bad life that it would inevitably turn him to murdering people? Probably not. Not sure.
No.
But regardless, he fucking did it, and he's a piece of shit. So
he had no qualms about talking and freely admitting that he did it at this point. Anyway.
Yeah.
And it definitely had some effect on me in regard to that, though, because it turns out that most of the people he was killing and most of the places he went to get his victims are actually from gay bars. That was where he was picking up most of his victims from.
So that's even
figure them out.
Yeah,
he figure them out. Again, who's vulnerable.
Yeah, exactly the same thing as that shooter we were talking about earlier. Oh, I've got to remove the temptation. I have to remove my temptation. It's that same fucking thing. It's someone else has forced something into his head that is this is a negative.
It's not exactly the same, because he does openly admit that he's gay. He's got no qualms about it now.
Oh yeah, but the other guy openly admitted that he banged prostitutes and loved it, and but it was all the temptation.
Yeah.
Oh, the temptation.
There is a little bit something later on that makes a point. Actually, I can just mention it now anyway, because I remember it anyway. He was very close to his granddad when he was younger, and then when his granddad died, He was only like 5, and he was told by all his family, and there was an open casket. Now he was told that he'd gone to this better place, and he couldn't understand, because they're all Christians, and now he couldn't understand why his granddad didn't take him with him to this better place, because he took him everywhere with him. And he said in that moment, like, the idea of death and love kind of got mushed into one, especially as it turned out later on that his granddad was also sexually abusing him too. So that
Oh
messed
my
it all up.
fucking god! Jesus Christ!
Smorgasbord of, messed up emotions there.
Yeah, that's literally just throwing a fucking hat on a hat. Like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, he's already fucked up.
So
man.
once I learned about the whole gay bar thing and that, and it became public, he was then dubbed, the name I was trying to find earlier, the Gay Killer Dennis the Mincing Menace.
That's a little bit troubling, just in its fucking
Yeah.
in its the Mincing Menace. Are
Gay
you
Killer
fucking?
Dennis the Mincing Menace.
When was this written?
This was 83. This was all coming out. So 83.
Oh,
84.
83. Yeah, that's totally something you'd see on a fucking newspaper in 83. You wouldn't see it
Yeah.
anywhere past the 2000s, though.
I don't know.
Well, the Sun.
The Sun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most newspapers are online now as well. So.
Yeah.
But during this
I
time,
don't imagine. Weirdly though, although he's been called crazy about a lot of things, I can't see Alex Jones talking about that one.
No.
Oh, Dennis the Mincing Menace. They're trying to turn the fucking frogs gay, Carl.
okay.
Just remember that.
I was just reading something that I'd forgotten about now, which is interesting as well. So during this time in the 80s, and like we said, being gay wasn't still as openly accepted as it just is now. It's just completely accepted now, really. But then it was still, but just not. It then became public knowledge as well that Dennis Nielson was actually an ex-copper as well. He was described by his fellow officers as someone who just wasn't into the job, wouldn't make eye contact with any victims, just didn't seem to give a shit at all. He soon after resigned, citing rife homophobia as the reason, but a lot of other people said he also just didn't give a shit. So, that was just a bit of both, probably. Policeman that worked with him that was interviewed stated no one batted an eyelid when he left. There was no leaving do. They just didn't care either.
Fucking hell.
He was a non-entity.
No leaving do. Yeah, Jesus Christ. They didn't like him.
No.
Mind you, with good reason. If you'd gone around his house, you probably would have ended up under his fucking floorboards. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this was before the killing.
Yeah, but let's be honest.
He wouldn't have been the normal guy to begin with.
No.
But a few years after he left, one of these policemen that he worked with, one of his fellow policemen he worked with went to an address to investigate a serious assault. But then described the scene as the house in question. So he goes on, now to describe the scene. The walls were painted black in the house inside that he went to, and the living room window had been smashed and blood was everywhere. A small young pale boy had already been taken from the address to the hospital with lacerations all over him, resulting in over 100 stitches. The boy was talking to them. He said that he'd met a Scottish-sounding man in a gay bar who took him back to his flat and plied him with alcohol and passed out. The kid said that he then woke up naked in a bed.
Fuck.
It says kid, but I'm assuming it was like, a teenager, because he was
but even still, it's not what you want, is it, to be Cosby?
No. Well, no.
Especially not by this dude.
He woke up naked in the bed and saw the man coming towards him, at which point the boy, in a case of fight or flight, hurled himself through the single glazed window to the ground below. I assume single glaze. I never mentioned it at the time, but it would never.
Yeah, he would never have gone through double glazing. No, he would have just impaled himself on it.
Just go into it, just hit it like a bird does.
Yeah, well, no, I think if you gave it a fair few goes, you'd crack it. But even then, you'd just end up getting sunk more and more into the fucking. Yeah, you'd never get through it if it wasn't single.
But the Scottish man in question for that, though, appeared at the police station. It was Dennis Nielson. He said he didn't know why he threw himself out the window. He was just like, no, God knows. No idea why he threw himself out that window. Nothing I did. Unless you got any evidence, proving any different, then I guess I'm just going to leave, aren't I? Basically, long story short.
Yeah, because he used to be a cop, so he knows his fucking his rules. Yeah.
Yeah, and basically the people didn't want the kid to go through any of this kind of stuff, so they were okay with him not going through the any kind of court case. So they were happy to just leave it, and it didn't go any further. And they make the point.
So glad I've got that mic mute. Sorry.
Yeah, obviously, like the point is as well, like if that would have gone through, how many more people would have saved their lives and that? But hindsight and all that jazz,
Yeah, you can't really blame people for not, Mind you can. Those neighbours, man. What the fuck is up with those neighbours?
Yeah, God knows with those neighbours how they missed that. It does seem a bit strange.
Do you reckon if you're a serial killer, you try and look for people to move in next to who are going to be fucking, ignorant of the whole thing? Like crackheads and fucking,
It would seem like a good idea. I mean, crackheads might be hyper aware, if anything. I suppose you wouldn't want to live next to stoners because they'd be hyper aware more than anything.
Yeah, we get paranoid, and I'll call in a motherfucker for murdering someone just because I saw them look at a cat funny.
There you go. Yeah. Well, the crackhead, they're just going to be like knocked out the whole time, do what you want. You kill someone standing over them, and they wouldn't have a clue. Could teabag them while stabbing someone in the neck, and they would just be like,
yeah, that'd be pretty impressive. Yeah. That'd be what we call a trick shot.
While slapping them at the same time. So they spoke to like a lot of other people as well, and there was someone else that they think might have disappeared called John the Guardsman, who was a rent boy, which is another explanation as to why he wouldn't have been, reported. He seemed to take people back to his house. I don't know how he managed to talk all these people into it, because he was not a looker, put it this way. He was not a looker. You know what? I don't actually. But David Tennant had to make himself look raggedy to play him.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, he wasn't David Tennant of Doctor Who glory, put it that way. He wasn't in no way the virile young man that ran around the trench coat. He looked like, he had been taking some hardcore druggies. Dude, I don't mean just taking drugs. I mean, he'd been taking some druggies in preparation for it, like been bashing him in the noggin. I don't know.
He's a character. He's a consummate professional and a character actor, Carl. He's got to get in the zone. He's very much a method actor.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen Good Omens?
Oh, that's a fucking great show. And they've got a season 2 coming up soon. I'm looking forward to that.
I did hear this. My vaporizer won't come on. I don't know why. It's all charged up. The batteries are in. It just won't come on. It pops up saying, oh, yes, it's on. There's just charging here when I first put them in. And then it's just like, oh, no. Fuck you.
Could be shorting somewhere.
Fucking need to get taller if it is. Work, batteries. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go back to Afghanistan and get some lithium.
Good luck with that.
Was it Afghanistan with the lithium, or was that... I think it was Afghanistan with the lithium.
I don't know. Somewhere's got lithium.
Well, it's still unsure as to why we went to Afghanistan. Remember, we went there because of 9/11 and oil. But it was actually 9/11. 9/11 was the initial reason why we went there, apparently.
But they didn't even come from there.
Al-Qaeda kind of came from there, didn't they?
No, the people who committed 9/11 were from Saudi Arabia.
But then we went. But there were
then
some
we went.
Al-Qaeda
Oh, well, there was. I think there was some Afghanistan as well.
Yeah,
but like
that's why they were apparently.
We then invaded Afghanistan and Iraq, two countries completely unrelated.
Afghanistan kind of, well, none of it was really related. Debatable, all of it. debatable.
Yeah, I mean, technically you
They
could say that they
don't-
related to financing it via various things, but like no more than the Sheikh of Dubai and things like that, and yet people keep on fucking giving that guy shitloads of money. It's like, yeah, and Saudi Arabia is still trying to, send people to fuck us up directly, but we keep sending them fucking weapons all day long. Priti Patel will sell weapons to basically anyone. If you want a fucking Trident missile and you've got the money for it, give Priti Patel a ring. She will give you a fucking steal on it. She sold weapons illegally to Israel. She sold weapons illegally to, I think, Saudi Arabia. She
Actually
sold
illegally?
weapons,
And,
yeah, fully
oh.
illegally, like against British law,
okay.
illegally, and she is still in fucking the Home Office.
How did
She
she get
should
away with
be
that?
nowhere fucking near the Home Office. She should, at most, if she has a political career, be a desk jockey working for an MP of Staines.
A great choice of city there.
Mm.
The MP from
God.
state. How does she get away with doing that though? How does any of that?
Because she's a Tory MP and the Tories are in power, and Boris Johnson doesn't give a shit because she's clearly got some information on him.
So you just get to the point, like when you really do, like get to this point where you just look at everything. I hope most people get to this point where they look at it all and just like nothing makes sense. Stop
No.
caring about all this because it's never gonna. This stuff don't change. It just happens. These things
Well, you
happen.
say that, but it does change, and it's sort of by people caring that it does happen. Like, people go, oh, but nothing changes. Yeah, but we do have a dedicated work week and an 8-hour work shift and holiday pay and an NHS and
I don't mean
the
like
Department
voting. I
of,
mean just the general like bullshit
No,
that goes on.
yeah,
and that.
no, I know, but the thing is, it's all part of the same thing. And
Yeah, I
like
suppose, yeah.
voting, as much as I stand up for voting, it's not actually going to solve any issues because the people who are in charge aren't really the politicians. They're the billionaires with all the money who keep on giving them the shit to do what they want to do.
And the politicians that should be in charge generally like they just don't seem to be a lot of the time. And the ones that don't seem to really care or know what needs to happen a lot of the time. It's like
it's because if you're more corrupt, you're more likely to win, basically, because you're more willing to do things that the other people won't do. Like the Tories have cheated in every single election that I have been able to vote in for how much money they spend on their campaigns.
Oh, just a fact, is that then?
Yeah, it's just a straight up fact. And they get fined afterwards, but they get fined less than the amount that they spent.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so they basically just see it as, oh, just pay off the fine and win the election. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, fucking hell. I suppose like if you got the money, you will just do it anyway. But yeah.
Yeah, but they are legitimately cheating. They completely ignore that. They do independent reviews of things that they've done wrong, and then everyone goes, yeah, no, the review goes, they did nothing wrong, and all of the public goes, but you did though, and they go, no, but look at the inquiry we did. It's a fucking farce, man. It's an absolute farce.
And that's the thing, if you did want to get to a point where like you wanted to do something about it, because I've always like thought about like how battered around the idea of how when I'm older, because you can't do it when you're younger, when I'm older, I would kind of enjoy getting into politics and doing that kind of stuff. But there's so many things that make me think I wouldn't want to do it as well. Like just all the bullshittery to begin with. But then there's also like having to, like the initial thing, just having to join a party. Like there's no party. There will never be a specific group of specific ideas that I wholeheartedly agree with, and if I don't wholeheartedly agree with them, I'm not. Why would you join them? It's just weird.
Yeah, I find it amazing as well that no one ever questions why we've got parties in particular. Because I talked to a friend of mine who's, mostly he is a Tory voter, and we agree on a huge amount of issues that are put out there as though we don't agree with them. And they're worded in a way that makes it seem like we don't agree. But actually, if you look at the way the world works objectively, you can see that certain things work better than others. So, for example, as I've said before, a nationalized health service works significantly better than a privatized health service. That is just a fact. You can look at it on the efficiency, on the cost, on the speed. It is actually universally better across the board in a well-funded NHS.
I was watching a video, the other day about that, about how, like, you know, with they privatise healthcare in America, but one of the things that makes it so bad is just the fact that, you know, how it comes across the hospitals are just charging whatever they want for all these different things, when it's actually based on the insurance companies that are actually rising the prices, and hospitals just kind of have to go in line with them, you know, at the end of the day.
And you know, one of the reasons for that is because drug companies, a lot of them now, don't actually do that much R&D. There's one in particular that caused a huge collapse in a company, basically, and defaulted their entire fucking company, and someone did a short sell on it and earned fucking millions off of the bloated corpse of this company. But what this company did is they stopped spending money on research and development entirely for new drugs and all that kind of stuff. And instead, whenever anyone else created a new drug, they'd buy up the entire company instantly, and then to recoup the cost within a year or two would just drastically inflate the cost of that particular drug that they made to a ludicrous degree so that they could make their money back. And that's why in America people have had like epilepsy medication that they can't afford now, and anaphylaxis medication that they can't take anymore now. Like, because companies have just gone in and go, well, we own that now and no one else can make it, so we're just going to make you pay as much money as we want you to pay.
I'm trying to remember what the reason. I did hear recently, like, a reason about why the opioid crisis was so bad in America. And I'm trying to remember what it was. There was like a legitimate thing that when I heard it, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense why it's such a thing now. And,
well, it's because of the ease of getting drugs in America. You can get like OxyContin so easily.
That too, but like, hence why it's been a thing for, like, you know, however many years, like over probably like the past like half a decade or maybe more. But especially now though, just because with the pandemic and all the haven't been able to get doctor's appointments and that, you know, and do stuff in the hospitals, that more and more people are taking painkillers or opioids, you know, the strong stuff, to deal with not getting the operation or not doing whatever they should be doing in the hospital.
Makes
you know?
sense.
So a lot
just
more
extra pain relief and
a lot more people
mental health issues. Yeah.
It's a lovely world we live in, isn't it, at the moment, Nath?
It is, isn't it? Yeah. So, you know, anyway, what was Dennis up to?
Well, I was just going to say before we go on to that, definitely the best time for, you know, like people like ourselves to try and start up, you know, like small self-employed businesses, or, you know, like start up some kind of comedy career, or produce some type of pilot for a comedy show. You know, like, it's the best time. Completely.
Yeah. It's the ideal time to try and launch your own individual sketch show. It's the perfect time to try and be preparing for a comedy competition. You know what, Carl? It's 16th of September at Aylstone's pub in wherever it is. Tardybig, I think.
And remind us about your sketch show as well, because we never actually put that earlier.
We didn't. No, it's Post-Apocalyptic Metal Treehouse. It is a one-man sketch show. It is written, directed, and starring me entirely, and it's actually pretty good. You could probably listen to it, enjoy it. And the weird thing is, I keep forgetting to mention, it's not really a sketch show anymore. It starts as a sketch show. Sketches are involved throughout the run of this show, but once you get to about episode 3 or 4, it starts becoming something entirely different. And I have no idea. Well, I do know how it's going to end. It's going to end in a giant cataclysmic universe-ending collapse. But how do we get there? You've still got 4 episodes to find out, and 5 waiting for you right now on SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcasts. Go and have a look, listen to it, do it.
Do you have any other like gig things coming up?
I
Gig
do.
things,
I
like
have.
gig dates, like gig things.
I have Project Mayhem
Oh,
at the Boston Tea thing.
yeah. It's one I'll probably
Boston
never
Tea
be.
Party. Yeah,
I think that was a war.
Yeah,
or
I
some
know.
kind of battle.
There's a Boston. There's a there.
It's not at the church place now, then.
No, I can't remember the.
Because I remember it was at the church before, the church pub or whatever it's called in was it Hockley?
Yeah.
Hockley? Yeah.
No.
God, by
Oh,
where
the
I used to
Bristol
go.
Pear. Is it the Bristol Pear? It could be the Bristol Pear.
Is that still done by Mr. Sham?
Sham's a man, yeah.
So I will never get invited to that one. So that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm still not coming back. I'm purposely taking my break now up until that November gig that we're doing together, aren't we? For Mr. Thompson.
Yeah, that's the cool one. As well. Yeah. So those are my 3 at the moment. Is just Mayhem, comedy competition, November.
What is that November one
And,
again? Is that do you remember what it was? Was it
it was Nottingham Comedy Festival, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
I thought it was Nottingham Comedy Festival. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd
And
be
we're on
good.
with a bunch of sketch shows, and yeah, it's going to be cool. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm going to revamp my set for next time because I just wasn't happy with the kind of stuff I was doing in the past month or so. I went away from what I originally wanted to do, and I'm going back to what I wanted to do, and just fucking ignoring what anyone else's opinion is again. Because I stopped doing that, and I don't give a shit if I say things that aren't apparently okay to say nowadays. No one can tell me what I'm allowed to say and what I'm not allowed to say. I can say what the fuck I want. I'm a person.
Unless you start screaming racial slurs at the top of your voice at people, I think you're fine.
I think so too. No one cares
and there are
that much.
people who go like, "Oh, you can't talk about that. You can't talk about. You can talk about fucking anything. It's just you haven't bothered to word it properly yet. That's all it is.
Yep.
And you don't want to put the time and effort in. But I'm going to put the time and effort in. You're going to put the time and effort in, and those people can suck a dick." You there?
I'm back now. I went away for a second. I heard all of you.
Good.
I was with you. I just disappeared for a moment.
Yeah. But that's the thing, man. If you're not willing to push it a bit in comedy, then you're not going to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not pushing it, then you're doing a joke that someone else has done before.
And you also...
Or a variation.
I think you have to get to the point as well where you stop caring what people think, legitimately stop caring what people think. But it's also bad too, because I have got to a lot of that. I'm doing my stuff now for me. I've really just stopped caring what people think. But at the same time, it's bad because you stop caring what people think. So you're less bothered about making a point of, showing them this stuff. Because it's I don't care what you think. I don't need your approval. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do my set naked in the mirror for myself. I'm good.
I get that. I do kind of get that. But I think at the end of the day, you're a natural performer. That's what draws you to being a comedian.
Exactly. Yeah. And
that natural reaction you get from, oh, that joke went well, or that joke doesn't work. You know it immediately. And so you don't have to worry about it too much. It's just sort of do what feels natural. And if someone tells you something's wrong, but your heart's telling you, no, I still think this is funny, then fucking keep doing it.
Yeah. I kind of love that. I think we've talked about it before. I kind of love that moment when you say something that is funny. And if it's funny and the rest of the crowd just doesn't get it, or they just don't laugh at it, or for whatever reason they're not reacting the way they should react, then it's kind of fun. So
that's the thing. It's you only really bomb on stage if you think you're bombing. Again, if you go on stage and you're like, oh, well, I'm not getting a great reaction. These jokes aren't going as well as I thought. I'm going to have to work on them. That is not bombing. That is learning how to develop your set. That is exactly what you should be doing as a comedian, is eating shit on a regular fucking basis until you've got your jokes to the perfect point where people laugh because they can't not laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing as well. You can do that because when you say that as well, it makes me think sometimes in the same way as like when I say if you're in a band, like a music band, you're only ready to play the songs in front of people when you're at the point of you're sick of playing the songs.
Yeah.
But it's kind of not like that. I think with comedy, though, I've realised that because
it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, because like if you're getting to that point where you just. I think that's what my issue was recently. The stuff I was saying, I didn't give a shit about. It was just pandering. It felt more like
you'd sort of rote learn it as well. That's the point. You'd sort of gotten to the point where in your head you'd been doing it on almost a railway track, or at least that's what happens to me. It's like whenever I've done a bad set, it's like I've listened back to myself and I'm like, yeah, I sound like I'm a fucking robot doing it. I've not got the passion for it that I had when I was first sort of coming up with it, when it was exciting.
It just depends on the content. I think it's one of them things that you really need to have like the love of what you're saying as well, to an extent.
Yeah. Again, if you don't find what you're doing funny, no one else will.
Yeah. And actually like worth saying as well, not just funny for the hell of it. Like then you just feel like you pander it. I just don't like that. That's what I felt like. I felt like I was just pandering for laughs, and I was like, I don't want to do that. That's not what I want to do.
There are certain comedians that you see who get laughs, but as you say, they're pandering, and you can tell that they're going for a joke that they know people will react to and laugh at. And I think, again, that's not where good comedy comes from. When I've tried to do, again, my sets, like people will, the amount of times when I started and you just have people doing, well, my Tinder date and my Bumble and this girl, it's like, and I don't care. Everyone's talking about it. Stop fucking talking about it. You cannot be funnier than the fucking dozens of professional comedians who have got bits about Tinder in their fucking specials that are on Netflix. Stop it. You are not going, unless you've got an actual unique fucking opinion on it or something different to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you're saying completely. Like, I think those kind of things, because they're very relatable, though, they work as good little bridges to other things at the same time.
Oh, absolutely.
Little bits
They
rather
do.
than long, little like.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Bits. Don't whatever, and also take everything I say with a fucking grain of salt. I don't know shit. But
everyone should take everything. Everyone says with a grain of salt.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like, don't. What I'm saying is, don't try and do stuff because other people like it, and that's what I think a lot of those Tinder jokes are about. It's like, other people relate to this, so I will say it. I went out and specifically tried to make a load of fucking jokes about stuff that people didn't relate to. I did shit about people falling out the sky and people taking drugs and people fucking, and people can relate to it, but
everyone
I'm not aiming to relate
to drugs.
I'm not aiming to relate to it. I'm aiming to just go, this is what I find funny and interesting. Do you find it funny and interesting?
Or this is funny and stupid, interesting stuff that has happened to me. Is it entertaining?
Yes,
I think
exactly.
That's a good thing to talk about, is when you're talking about things that have actually happened to you, because you can't really help but have some kind of interest in them, I guess, when they've actually happened to you,
Yeah.
And
there are some people as well. Yeah, there are some people as well who do get like funny takes on the dating app stuff. Again, like, just ignore me when I say shit. But
but like, in general, though, I know what you mean. It's best to try and stay away from the stuff that everyone's doing, because you straight away then, like, you're putting yourself into a corner and you've got to come up with something with this topic, and everyone's doing it, so you've got to find a different take on it. Whereas if you're using something else, like a topic that isn't used all the time, then you've got a lot more avenues you can go down.
And also go for shit that you get a visceral reaction to. Like, if you're angry about the fact that, like, you can't find the fucking right DFS bed, that's going to be way more funny than someone who's like, oh, I found a nice bed at DFS. Like, it's, you got to go for the heights.
Yeah.
And again, it's got to be true to you. Like, if you don't find it funny, no one else will.
It's weird how it's the negatives that work for comedy. The thing that makes us laugh is when we're talking about things going badly.
Yeah,
Says a lot
it's
about
better.
humans in general.
Yeah, and you can do positive comedy. I think I've done a couple of jokes that are fairly positive,
do it.
but like, it's easier to punch down.
Yeah. And
you
it's
don't
more
have to
fun as well. Like, I don't know about you,
up.
but every time I've punched a small person, it's been really fun.
It's hilarious.
You get
especially
the
if
power
they're near
behind
stairs.
you and everything. Yeah, and I mean, if they're standing on a trampoline as well, because they just bounce.
Yeah,
It's like having your own basketball court.
Yeah, there's nothing quite like punching a small person. Yeah,
There's not.
No.
Simple things in life's the way.
It is, yeah.
But let's try and get into someone else's love.
Very small, by the way. I only go 3 feet and below. I'm not a weirdo.
Oh yeah, that's normal. I've earned Troy
Yeah.
kind of size. Yeah, that's what you want.
Yeah.
They need to be small enough that you can also use them as a weapon if somebody tries to attack you while you're attacking said midget.
Yeah, and if you're going to be punting someone, you want to be able to get like a good 10 or 15 feet out of it.
I'm just trying to figure out now if that's okay to say or not.
What did you say?
I'm going to leave it. Midget?
Oh, I'm sure it's fine.
I think that's okay. I'm going to leave it in. I'm going to go with it.
Yeah, I mean, people say like,
I mean, a midge is
as well. You're supposed to say dwarf doesn't sound good. It sounds bad.
It sounds like you're comparing him to a fairy tale or something.
Yeah.
Are you saying they're dopey or sleepy?
Yeah.
And midge is like an actual little fly anyway. I saw a swarm of midges in flying above some Alaska thing, and if I saw a lot of them come towards me, I wouldn't be thinking about what to call them. I'd be thinking I need to run away.
Yeah, they're a powerful entity. Yeah, goddamn right.
There was a lot of them, man. They look powerful coming towards you. But not as powerful as Dennis Nielson looked when he was coming towards his
Holy shit, we're 2.5 hours in. Let's go in.
Yeah. So there was some other guy, Martin, that he did something with, but they found his national insurance card in there, but he actually survived. He was one of the survivors because not everyone that he took back to his flat he killed. He talked to some of them, and it seemed as though the ones that were more vulnerable would be the ones he would kill. The ones that wouldn't be missed by anyone, he'd get to know them. I'm guessing his work advisor techniques, to talk to them, figure out their situation. But this Martin guy, for example, this is a weird one. He took him to his, played classical music, and then asked him. No, they drank Bacardi and then went to bed at his house. But about 2 hours later, Martin woke up and there was smoke. Nielson was straddled across him, and what was it? He complained to him for knocking the fire off the wall, and then Martin ran away. And apparently he decided that he was going to kill him that night. Martin did, so he went to the police, but the police naffed him off because they were being homophobic. That's literally like the story of that bit. I don't quite understand it. What fire did he knock off the wall?
How'd you knock a fire off the wall?
When you're asleep as well. How did that happen?
It's also, you can't.
And why
fire
was he
isn't
doing
physical.
That? I don't understand that bit, so I'm just going to go past.
Well, it is physical, but no, that makes no sense. What actually happens in the end to this crazy motherfucker? Because does he actually get his comeuppance? Because it seemed for a minute there like he wasn't necessarily going to get his comeuppance, and I don't want that to happen, Carl. I want this man to swing from the highest yard arm in Titan docking port for this one.
It's a bit about what actually happened. So it was time for him to make his plea, whether he was going to be guilty or not guilty. Naturally, everyone assumed he was going to plead guilty because
Yeah.
he'd been talking about it and confessing it all in the stuff. But for some reason, no, he pleaded not guilty, which meant there would have to be a full trial. And the argument now seemed to be around whether he was a sound mind when committing these acts, or if it
Well,
was diminished
obviously,
responsibility.
no.
Lots of people refused to give evidence. So is the problem, because back then, all the people that would have been given evidence were people that would have had to
Would
at the
have been
same time
gay.
out themselves as gay, and it still
Yeah.
they didn't want to make that point back then.
Fucking hell.
Let me just see if this is the one messed up thing. I'm trying to find this one particular story. This one, where is it? Okay, yeah. So there was this one guy, another person that actually died, and Dennis told us about. That came out during the trial as well. That was talked about more because they had a witness, which didn't actually witness, but had a character witness for it that knew the person. But something about basically he killed this guy after seeing him walking around drunk. He wasn't gay. He've seen this guy walking around. He just took him to his house to give him a place to stay because he couldn't stand up, basically. But long story short, killed him, but then kept him in his armchair for 2 days, and he would come back home from the job centre and sit down next to him in the chair and watch TV with him for a few days, apparently, have conversations with him and all this, until the last day, 3 days in, when he decided to strip him naked, put him on the floor, cover him in talcum powder, and masturbate above him.
Oh, fuck off.
The same kind of thing. The talcum powder look apparently was how he described his granddad. So, yeah.
Oh, fuck me. Why?
Basically, in the end to this, there was they had some survivors come in that testified in the court case, but there's a few survivors that did come. They were able to prove that he was aware of what he was doing, that he was aware of his situation, what he was doing the whole time. He wasn't acting psychotic. He was fully aware. So in the end, he was found guilty of all 6 murder charges.
Fuck for that.
And sentenced as life imprisonment and all that jazz, and died in 2019. So
wow.
Old. Yeah.
I mean, hopefully it was COVID and a really horrible case. Jesus Christ. I'm going to tell you something, Carl, and I don't know what it says about me as a human being, but I was okay with the details of the rotten corpses. It wasn't fun for me, but I was accepting of it. I was even fine with all the shit. Yeah, I was. I was even able to keep up with the fucking weirdness when it came to oh yeah, this was the cause and this was the cause and it all led to this and this. I am not fucking okay with a person covering a corpse in talcum powder and wanking onto it so that it looks like his granddad. What the flying fuck? I should never have had to say that sentence, Carl. In those words, in that line, in that order, should never come out of a human's mouth, and yet Dennis has made me do it.
He did. He did.
If anything, this is his final crime.
That was the worst thing about it all. You know what's worse about Dennis Nielson? Not the murders, not the rapes or any of that kind of stuff. It was the fact that he made me think about it.
Yeah, bastard. The fact that he masturbated onto a talcum powdered fucking dead dude. Jesus fuck.
Created some kind of cake mix looking thing on his chest. And a little dip on his chest.
Oh. It's the world's worst pastry.
Like Norm Macdonald talking about Bill Cosby, and he's like, what was the worst thing about Bill Cosby? It was hypocrisy. Well, that's what my friend said. I don't think so. I think it was the rapes.
Oh, Norm's a fucking
all
champion.
The raping.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
It seems to be, they actually went over about 5 years, his killings.
Jesus Christ.
78 until 82.
Yeah.
Quite a
no
few
one needs
people.
that. No one needs that. in their lives
London,
ever.
most of them were unidentified. Out of the 6 in 1980, only 2 of them are identified. Martin Duffy, Martin Duffy, some other person, not the one I mentioned, and William Sutherland. And then in 81, there was 4 altogether, only 1 identified as Malcolm Barlow. 1982, there was 2 on here anyway. There could easily be more. John Howlett and Archibald Graham Allen.
Archibald, great name. Fucking great name, yeah.
And then 83, Stephen Sinclair, his final victim, who's the one from Perth that we mentioned.
Yeah.
There was a few other details I had from some of the deaths, but time more than anything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucked, man. I mean, it's
That's Mr. Dennis Nielson. I do recommend watching the ITV drama. I remember it being quite good, and it's
I'm gonna have
David Tennant after all.
Yeah, David Tennant is fucking pro. I will watch him act in anything. Yeah, I would watch David Tennant as the actor as the actor playing the part of my executioner on my day of execution, and I would still stand up afterwards to give him a fucking standing ovation.
Even if it was a real life cannibal.
Yeah, he could chop my head off. I'd get straight up and go, "Fucking bravo!"
No, I would want to watch my executioner too, so I could see how he was going to go about it and make sure I wasn't in that room on that day to get executed.
Yeah,
that's how I'd go about it.
You see, that's smart. I'm not that smart. I'm just gonna say a fucking great job, David Tennant. Thank you so much for being involved in this project.
Yeah. One thing I forgot to mention about the smoking area as well, though, I have now also got not only have I got that sign that actually a slightly different sign, but I got like a plastic sign to put up on the wall as well, like for when it fades out from the little logo that will be on the titles, it'll fade out onto an actual physical smoking area sign that will zoom out from, and then whoever's in the shot will be standing there talking.
Nice.
And I've actually officially now got the location for the smoking area confirmed and agreed upon, and allowed to go there. Don't even have to pay money to do it either. It's all a little tucked away, so it shouldn't be too much traffic either or noise. It's too much ambient noise, anything like that.
I'm looking forward to it. I really want to see what my character's like as well, because I know he's going to be this weird, rough and tumble security dude.
Yeah, he's not.
It just sounds so much fun. I'm totally considering just shaving off the bottom half and just going hardcore mustache.
That would be great if you could do that. Yeah. Obviously, your guy will have a bigger. Same with the Vapor character, which I think Alex is doing now. He will have like a bigger role in the second episode, but yours will be one of the key roles still, though, because it's kind of like building up to you being the new security guard, obviously. Yeah, so there'll be a lot of space for you to do some extra random shit as well. So, and the one bit at the end is like ends on your bit, and it'll just be quite funny. I've got it all in my head how it'll work.
Have you done like a storyboard for it all?
I've got a basic storyboard together. I haven't like written one out, drawn one out yet in regards to all the shots. So I'm going to do that in like a checklist kind of style, so I can make sure that every shot,
That's what I did as well when I did my my YouTube sketch, a very leftover breakfast with Mark Barney. Check it out on YouTube. Yeah, it's really fun because you just sort of go, how would that look the coolest? Oh, it would look coolest if that was there and that was there, and then you sort of, yeah, man, I love that shit. I love it.
The main thing as well, I think, is when it comes to filming, is I think just doing as much as you can in order to, so you can get that natural progression as you go along, and makes it easier to do.
Yeah. I think as well, if I'm honest, I've had a bit of a time away from writing myself. I've sort of not really written anything major for about a month. Or two really at this stage.
Hmm.
And I kind of want to bring an end to that. I'm getting sick of not writing. Because I'm always happier when I've written something. I don't know why. It just feels like I've actually gotten somewhere.
It feels good. Making something, creating something is just nice.
Yeah, it is. It is, especially when it's something that you're proud of and that you think you can actually get to go somewhere.
Like I said, if you want to add little bits in as well when I send the script over to make, rewrites and all that.
Absolutely. Anything that I do will be in red, and then you can sort of you can immediately change it then. If you want to, or
And obviously, like I said, when it comes to filming it all too, everything's going to be available to be improv. It'll be changed around and all that. Like probably
once again,
get a shot of the actual scripted one, and then just
do the scene, and then play with the scene, and then see how it happens. It's the best way to do it.
And I think for yourself, there'll only be like the end shot where you'll come in right at the end, though, so there won't be that much there, and the little bit at the end, and while Dave and Carl are talking at the end, there'll be like shots to you going back, beating up the guy, and also doing some of the assault course workout, because I kind of cut the assault course scene just because the second episode is going to be more now based around that kind of stuff, like around like fitness tests between the smokers and the vapors having their great war. Number one, anyway. And I'm gonna it works anyway.
See, I'm just interested to read the script so I can sort of figure out the character to go with it. That's what I'm really looking forward to.
Your main scene in it will be the interview, which can go as long if like I wasn't sure how long to do, but the longer that one is, the less time will fill with like other ones, because I don't know if I'm gonna. The only other person having the interview at the moment is my character, who's already the security guard. So the stupidity is there because I've already working there. And Luke as well, maybe being like a Mexican drug lord or something.
Oh, that'd be so goddamn good. Yeah, I'd love that idea.
But yours can just go a lot longer, because you got like you got Carl Rassi to talk to, you got Leanne to talk to, and also Simon will be in the corner eating a sandwich too, but trying not to pay attention.
I'm just looking forward to it. It's going to be fun, man.
I'll do it right away now. Then when we're finished, I'll send it over on Facebook.
Nice.
Just if you get to bits and you read something and it's like, that literally doesn't make any sense. I don't understand what's going on there. It's probably because I forgot to put something in, or I added a bit back.
I know how it is, man. I know how it is. I've been writing the script long enough. I know all the bit.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
it's fucking hard, man. Writing the original script, sometimes it's just you don't realize until afterwards. Some bits just don't make sense, so it's just hard writing a full-on original script.
I know it sounds weird as well, but if you find yourself stuck at any point wondering how to get something done in a script, print it off and read it in a paper form, because weirdly it will make your brain look at it in a different way, and you can sort of I don't know why it does, but it does, man. And like reading it out loud as well to yourself when you think a bit's not going quite right.
Kind of thing I wanted to do. I wanted to get a printer for that exact reason for my comedy writing, to be fair.
I've got a spare printer.
I need to get one. I'm slowly building up everything.
It's perfect. It's perfectly working. It's got a scanner on top.
No, I'll buy it off you if you're selling it, if you mean.
I mean, I got it off of a clearance. I don't know if it works. You can have it for like nothing if it doesn't work, or for tenner. I don't know.
If it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. I'm a kind person, Carl.
Hey,
do you want a piece of shit that's basically just a giant fucking paperweight? Here you go, Carl.
A giant paperweight. Cool, yeah, man. Let me know about that anyway, though. But I'll get this sent over to you now. But I need to go. I just realized
very, very good. Yeah. It's. I'm just getting fucking stuff from your florist, mate. It's very important. You've got to get that shit done. It's very good.
Important, man. I need my tulip. I need my tulips.
Yep, you need the tulips.
Get those poppy seeds.
Couple chrysanthemums.
Oh yeah, that's another thing they have in Afghanistan. They have like loads of poppy poppy
Yeah.
fields for opioids, which is apparently why.
Heroin.
Yeah. Apparently the the Taliban so were going around burning all the poppy fields down and that. Now that they're back, it's like, oh god. At least enjoy your drugs, you know.
Yeah, but they can't because of
Yeah.
like the laws of haram. I can't remember which one it is.
Laws of silliness. That's why silliness.
Silly stupidness.
You don't appreciate
Anyway.
drugs, and I don't appreciate you. And if I don't appreciate you, that means that I do not give a shit if you die via
and
comedy.
if you are, yeah, and that's right. If you are gonna die, do it with comedy. Kill them with comedy.
You sound like you're laughing yourself to death. Bye.